Oh boy. Man, how the hell do I even start this? Nordicfuzzcon, dude. Okay. The best way to start this is to just say, my god, was this a good convention? I immediately fell in love with it. Easily the best event I've attended in my entire life. What an incredible experience, but of course it wasn't without issues and quirks. It's quite impossible for any event to be without them, but my god, fantastic. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to take you along with me through Nordicfuzzcon, with its events and my experience as well. I attended pretty much every main stage event and a couple panels, all of which were amazing. We did not get a hotel at all, but me and my husband live in Sweden now, or at least we're trying our best to. We live quite close to Malmo, and through the sheer power of trains, trains are cool, we can get to the convention fairly quickly. Also, a little side note, the footage quality is going to vary just a bit, and I'm going to also source some clips from Twitter, but I will of course be giving credit. Also, one quick last thing, sorry. This video is organized by days, so day 1 is going to be Wednesday, the day of the opening ceremony, and day 5 is Sunday, the day of the closing ceremony. Just FYI. Okay, great, fine. Enough of me yapping, here's NFC 2024. Man, honestly, it was such a breath of fresh air to see furries in the train station on Wednesday. Like, seriously, I step off the train and furries have already taken over Malmo Central Station. Yeah, and on the walk to the Claritin Live, more furs and even suits. Man, like walking up to the hotel entrance and just seeing all the suitors and happy people just seriously soothes my soul. It's just a wave of peace. It's hard to describe, but having all these beautiful suits around really just creates a fun and pleasant atmosphere. Quite stimulating too, but like in a good way. I don't know if you know, but foxes tend to be crepuscular and not diurnal, so I tend to be very lazy getting out of bed in the morning. But arriving to registration kind of late on Wednesday, I really didn't have to wait at all to get registered. It was actually immediate. Speaking of registration, freaking awesome con badges this year. You get to submit your own badge picture, by the way, too. And something that caught me off guard was I got a con book. Like, they gave me like a little magazine with all this cool convention paraphernalia on the inside. It's awesome. Beautiful art too. And this was just included with all tickets, by the way, including the basic one. Okay, so the opening ceremony. Okay, how do I put this? Well, to be blunt, there was a ton of people attending this year, roughly 3,700, I think, and this is one of the biggest events of the convention, so yeah, a lot of people are gonna want to see it. We got into the balcony luckily because the ground floor was reserved for sponsors only, I think. I know. Whole separate video on that, by the way. Stay tuned on Fox Space Magic 2. Subscribe. The opening ceremony was pretty cool, to be honest. For a furry con, it was a lot of fun. It had video cinematics and animations, a little bit of suit acting, which was humbling. As you could probably tell, NFC 2024 was Ragnarok themed, the ancient Norse legend of the end of times. Badass. Of course, the two mouse mascots had a little play to this theme, but the hotel and events were also themed to this, which was lovely. Okay, but what caught me off guard was a sneak peek of the freaking opera that they had planned for tomorrow. Yes, an opera, a furry opera. Exactly, you heard me correct. With this, the wonderful Chester came out onto stage and just blew me away with his voice. My god, it's like being smacked in the face with a silk blanket. But I kid you not, this next part had me hyped the f up. I'm not joking. NFC somehow got Grimner to play a concert at the convention. Oh, honestly, I'm still in awe about this. Yes, the Swedish metal band Grimner played a concert at a furry convention. More on this on day 2, but they did play a little demo song in the opening ceremony, and to say me and my buddies were excited is an understatement. Like, what the hell? Anyway, the ceremony continued after this, and okay, it was a total mental flashbang, but NFC has an actual maid cafe? The promo video came as a joke and just caught me so off guard because it started off as an unrelated video about the different Anthro clans sending warriors to help fight in Ragnarok. And the Wolf clan leader said something like, "We will help you. I am sending the Wolf clan's strongest warriors." And then the camera just pans to two twink wolf suitors in maid uniforms. Jesus. God bless. Freaking perfect. Just perfect. That just speaks for itself. Anyway, we also had a lot of con staff and board speak as well, and the hotel corpos, who actually really love NFC. They were very happy because they make a lot of money from this convention and get quite a good rep for hosting us, which is good. If the corpos are happy, peace is ensured. Once the little spiel was over, there's a lovely outro cinematic, which I may or may not have a clip of for reasons, but if you think this is a strong start, oh boy, the convention just crescendoed to the end. Every day just got better and better. All I'll say is that I'm absolutely astounded by the sheer talent that just is in this fandom. Well, that was the opening ceremony. Real quick side note. Hi, if any NFC board members are watching, yeah, this, you said the opening ceremony was going to be recorded, so I didn't have to do it.
Hold on, the show will be recorded, so there's no need to film yourselves. Just sit back and enjoy.
Oh, that saves me a lot of time. I can't find said recording anywhere. Please help. Okay, anyway, after that we figured out that there's an arcade next to the Fursuit Lounge, and I thought it was going to be kind of mid, but it turned out to be pretty badass, and we then proceeded to spend well over an hour in there, mostly playing the pinball machines, but there was a stellar selection of games and consoles ranging from vintage to modern, and even this little BattleBot arena, which was neat.
We were late for the backstage area because we were playing in the arcade.
This is also a decent segue into just how many fun things were at this convention. Like, right next to the arcade, they straight up had a maid cafe, like I mentioned earlier. They advertised it in the opening ceremony, but I did not at all expect it to actually have that much effort and coordination put into it. Also, I'm 100% guaranteed working that next year at NFC 2025. Come see me. And no, unfortunately, we did not visit the maid cafe because we are poor. Look at my camera. Hey guys, you want to see my filming equipment? Man, we're so rich. We can get the nicest equipment for just the best videos. Okay, so technically the next day usually starts at midnight, so the Grimner concert was technically on day 2, so therefore it gets put into day 2 of the video. It was a Grimner concert. Of course it was awesome. It was great because there were so many other metalheads and I could untie my long ass hair and headbang. What's not to enjoy? But my favorite aspect of this was how energetic and excited the actual band was. They were playing for an audience of almost pure furries, a lot of which were in suit, and they freaking loved it. The lead singer said that his first thought when getting the invitation from Stu, the con administration, was that he was surprised.
A month ago. We are at event 57 or something right now in the queue or something like that, but what did you think when you got the event?
Well, I gotta admit, we were a bit surprised. Is this something that is for us? But we checked out your website and you talked about the event and how you really got into the whole theme of the Ragnarok theme and the Viking theme, and we thought this actually could be a really fun thing to do. So yeah, we just tried.
How was the result?
But thought it would be fun as hell, so we accepted the gig with zero hesitation. And okay, could we just take a moment to appreciate this metal band having the balls to just straight up play a metal concert at a furry convention? Mad respect, mad respect. Also, huge shout out to the literal Giga Chad that sent them an invitation in the first place. Thank you wholeheartedly. Anyway, back to the music. They of course are a metal/folk metal band, so they had no issue matching their song choices with NFC's Ragnarok theme. I can't play play the songs because copyright, but trust me, it was just lovely. We even had a mosh pit going at one point. Between songs, the lead singer would stop and talk with the crowd briefly, and one of my favorite comments that he made is that when the stage would turn all the lights off and it was completely dark, he could still see glowing animal eyes in the crowd, and he thought it was totally badass. Like, people had light up eyes on their fursuits, and when it was completely dark, all you saw were these just glowing eyes staring back up at you. I mean, man, does that add to the concert. Also, at one point, the crowd asked him if he ever wear a fursuit if somebody asked him to, and he said yes. Then the entire audience started chanting, "One of us, one." Oh man, what an experience that was. A wholesome metal band playing some great folk metal at a furry con. How could you not enjoy that? Literally perfect. Thank you, Grimner. And if for some bizarre reason any of you see this, first off, sorry, and just thank you. Keep playing, please. Oh man. Well, enough of me dorking out about metal music. Day 2 was absolutely packed with great memories and experiences. Just look at the schedule. Honestly, incredible, really. This next event really had kind of an impact on me. It was the Nordic Opera. This was made just for this year's convention. The music ranged from Handel and Wagner to Disney. It was about Ragnarok's heroes and them fighting to combat the end of times. But of course, failing, as it's foretold, only for the realms to be reborn and start anew, all while tying in a love story, which, can I just say really quick, it's 1,000 times cuter knowing these two boys right here are a couple. My god, they are a music dork couple singing the lead roles in a furry convention opera together. How sweet is that? Anyway, the opera is narrated actually by the head of the convention security, which is kind of badass. But yes, the story is narrated between acts. Here, I'll try to reconstruct a quick opera retrospective for you. I apologize in advance, I'm working partially with corrupted footage because my camera's garbage. Unless Editor Scout finds the NFC recording to use, which he will let us know. Hi, Editor Scout.
Fuck you, I couldn't find it. I'm very sad.
Anyway, enjoy.
3 seemingly eternal winters. Fimbul's winter. Hunger and chaos reign. But no one wants Fimbul's winter to end, because there is a prophecy that with the end of the winter, there will come the end of everything. A big fight between all the enemies of Midgard and Asgard. Between the giants of fire and ice, the dead and the monsters on one side, and the heroes of Midgard and Odin's mighty Valhalla on the other. And Asgard will lose, and the worlds will burn. Ragnarök.
To the sky.
Healed, the sun will shine, and those who got lost might meet again.
Well, honestly, this opera served as an inspiration to me. My first thought after seeing it was, man, I gotta pick up my instrument again. I used to love performing, and this opera really makes me want to, get more involved creatively with these conventions. Maybe someday I'll be on stage playing something, or even just narrating or hosting. I was impressed and inspired to say the least. I still am, and everyone else that went loved it. Please, Nordicfuzzcon, do this again. You guys really had such a positive impact on the fandom with this. Okay, fine. Continuing with day 2 of the convention, after the wonderful opera, there was a little downtime, so we decided to get some lunch at Max Burgers, along with a huge chunk of the convention as well. Like, we just took over the entire restaurant, but despite that, they actually got food out relatively quick, so that was nice. Quite decent food, by the way, too. It's a Swedish chain, so it's quite tasty. The walk over and back was lovely. I love Malmo. It's a beautiful city with lots of wonderful buildings, and everything is completely walkable with large plazas. This is how a city should be built, and the fact that it's such a nice city just added to the con experience. At this point, me and my group split to go do our own thing for a while, until later that night. The next big event of day 2 was the Pause on Air dance competition. Now, I've always seen fursuit dances before, or at least just small amounts of them, and I never really was interested, but hey, I'm here at Nordicfuzzcon, and they have this beautiful stage, so hey, what the hell, why not? I got in the queue, got a seat, and oh man, it was actually super cool. I thought it was gonna be kind of meh, but I was totally wrong. I actually really loved it. Pause on Air was a competition structured around 2 people doing an improv dance duel. The music was random, but the contestants had to give a thumbs up or down before starting, and 2 thumbs down would skip the song. The contestants were mostly suitors, but a few non-suitors competed as well. They had 1 minute to dance, and 3 judges gave their votes. It's very impressive because this is improv. They don't get time to prep before this. They are given a random song and have to make up their moves and style on spot while in front of an audience. That takes some skill. Overall, despite my previous judgment, Pause on Air was awesome, and I'm very glad I attended it. It far exceeded my expectations. Well done. At this point, with Pause on Air being over, I wanted to visit the dealer's den, but the line was a little ridiculous, wrapping around a huge part of the hotel. I'm guessing I would have to wait at least 2 hours to get in. Yeah, a whole separate video on this, by the way, so please stay tuned to Fox Space Magic 2. Please subscribe. But anyway, I walked around the hotel a bit, taking in the convention, and it's honestly such a relaxing environment. You can just exist in a better world for a while and escape. You don't get judged here for being you, which is a nice vibe. The venue is a bit tight on the inside, but it's a very pretty hotel. Definitely worth exploring, along with the city of Malmo too. Anyway, I regroup with my friends and husband, and we make it over to the Valhalla venue for the first time. Honestly, we got a bit lost trying to find it. It's kind of hidden behind this monolithic office building, but we found some suitors and just followed them, and that's how we found it. The Valhalla venue has a really nice vibe to it, honestly, and it was more open on the inside than the hotel was, but overall smaller, of course. This being said, it did feel a bit underused. They definitely could have more panels and events here, and to be honest, there was not a lot of people here. Barely any, actually, but that changed when it was drawing time for the Fonz and Friends concert. Oh boy, the Fonz and Friends concert. Oh man, okay. Okay, could we please normalize fursuits in rock bands? Like, seriously, my god, did they add so much. The lead singer just lights up the entire room and absolutely irradiates energy. The stage just came to life with him up there. Man, what an awesome experience that concert was. This band had a few original songs and played some covers, and they absolutely killed it. They sounded great, they had the whole venue bumping and excited. And I'm still thinking about it a few days later. The lead singer is also a total sweetheart, by the way. Love your suit, too. Just look at him. The band is sweet too, of course. All the members are such talented, lively musicians, and all furries, by the way. Bonus points for the drummer wearing a bunny fursuit head. Freaking badass to see those ears flop when you play. I really hope these guys come back and play next year. Freaking rock on. And I could not think of a better way to end day 2. What a nice day full of music. Alright, day 3 was a more laid-back day, but still a ton of fun. The first panel me and my husband attended was something special that I was keeping my eye on for a while once NFC posted the schedule. This panel was hosted by the lovely Miko, everyone's favorite saber cat. And it was, of course, the Shibari panel. I'm pretty sure this is fine to talk about on YouTube because I'm not showing any examples and it's a famous cultural icon. But Shibari, meaning tying, is a traditional form of Japanese rope restraint techniques, and in modern times it's considered an art form. And I completely agree with that. I'm not going to elaborate too much on this, but I will say that Miko did an amazing job with this panel. He was super keen on safety and was very informative. He was also a total sweetheart when I talked with him afterwards. So shout out to this silly cat. So it was day 3, and we were not able to get into the dealer's den yet because of how long the line was. Honestly, the dealer's den needs to be way bigger. I was surprised about how small it was for a convention this huge. I think it was even a bit smaller than Denver, and Denver was a much smaller con. But after waiting well over an hour, we managed to get in. It was neat, yeah, it was cool to see. It's a dealer's den, of course. It's nice to be in. It was very crowded, and I couldn't move or really see anything. People were just standing around, not moving. But after some time and efforts, I got a brief look at, I think, all of the stands. I didn't buy anything because I'm poor and I really forgot how expensive this stuff was. Not gonna elaborate too much on that, but hey, still cool to look at. I'll say that. So day 3, which was Friday, was also the open house. So basically non-convention participants could, for a limited time during the day, access the convention at the main hotel. I've never seen another con do this, but it was pretty cool, actually. There were actually a lot of random normies that were just curious about furries, and they came in sometimes with their kiddos just to see what was going on. And it was honestly adorable to see how happy the suits made them. A lot of people actually really found the whole furry con thing to be super cool. Since it was the open house, they allowed minors into the convention, so everything during the open house duration was restricted to SFW only, as it should be. NFC is a 18+ convention, and I think that's how all conventions should be, to be honest. It's just safer that way, but I won't go on a tangent. Anyway, we had our friends come up from Denmark who came and suited for a while and even stayed for the charity concert. We all got to see it together, which was lovely. I've known these guys for like 8 years, and now we actually got to physically go to a convention together. Incredible, really. The charity concert was held and hosted by the convention's in-house band, the Snow Flakes. The Snow Flakes, yes. Yes, that's their name. Don't think too hard about it. But yeah, they were a solid band. This was the SFW concert, so they played some covers of classic rock and even threw in a couple originals too, which was awesome. Big guy singing the lead, freaking nailed it. Well done. But yeah, it was a furry rock concert. I got to attend with my buddies. What's not to love? One of our friends did go to the bunny meet during this because he indeed is bunny, but he said it was enjoyable. Fonz the Rock Rabbit was there, so he got to meet him, so that was pretty cool. But after the concert, the open house was pretty much over, so we said goodbye to our Danish buddies and went to the bar. Expensive, obviously, but the beer was pretty good. And overall, the bar just had a really nice vibe to it. It was so lively, great to see everybody down there. Okay, it was time for the After Dark concert. Yes, it was called the After Dark concert, but there was nothing weird. It just had a lot of adult and not safe for work humor and themes in it. Some tasteful, some not. It was still the same band as the charity concert, the Snow Flakes. Not sure how much I can show, but they had some seriously funny parody covers of memes, one of which was the Bo Burnham's Welcome to the Internet, but furry themed, which was very funny, along with other dirty songs and such. Good laughs, to be honest. I also just love how animated the band was. The drummer was really silly the entire time and was always messing with the other members, and all of them really just meshed so well. Such good vibes from these guys. It really added to the concert and made it feel so chill and relaxed, but in a good way. I really much enjoyed it, and I hope they play again next year. Hey, Editor Scout, do you know how dirty it was?
Yeah, it was pretty dirty.
Ah, I see, okay. Right, okay, day 4 was really something quite special. Not only did it have some of the best events the entire convention, Grimner and Opera aside, but it just really helped me appreciate the fandom a lot more. Day 4 showed me the talent and joy this fandom can bring somebody. Anyway, as usual, we drag ourselves out of bed, get in queue for the noon main stage event, which was the Taskmaster show. Now, a lot of it was pre-recorded ahead of time, but this show also had a live portion, and it was honestly very enjoyable and quite funny. You had 5 contestants that were given a few bizarre challenges prior to the convention. An example of bizarre would be the challenge in which they had to make a potato look fun.
Potato!
Yes, the other challenges matched the vibe of that, so it was quite the lovely blend of chaos. Very enjoyable. The Taskmaster would award points after each challenge, and after I think 5 rounds, they tallied the score and announced the winner. Here's my quick reconstruction of the game show, so enjoy.
So, your prize is supposedly a 12-month-old frozen pizza. Yeah. Okay. All I want is to look at the potato and say, you know what? That looks fun. That's simple. How hard can this be? Well, who's up first?
One potato. Well, we're going shopping.
Party tornado! Potato! West Sarajevo! Tomato doesn't love you anymore!
Who's going to get 5 points, but it's easy for me to know who gets 1 point. I think it's the proto champ because I want to award creativity, but it doesn't look fun to me. So that's how I'm going to score. 1 point to score.
Or not to proceed. That is the question. Whether this scooter in the mind to proceed, the miles and miles of outrageous adroitness, or to cuddle men against to party more on thy party to say with thousands of musky drunk pursuitors. This a situation devoutly to be wished. To first it.
What's this? A note from my husband. Dear Mr. Potato, I don't love you anymore and I'm leaving you forever. Goodbye. Oh my god, how could they do this? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Oh my god. Mr. Potato, are you okay?
The winner of the Golden Stroopwafels of Furry Tasman NXT 2024 goes to Simon!
Well done to all the contestants. This was a great event, and I would love to see it again next year. After starting the day with the lovely Taskmaster event, today was the Fursuit Parade. Today was the Fursuit Parade and Convention Fursuit Picture. Honestly, if you've never seen a colorful sea of suits all outside together, you are seriously missing out. Like, what an incredible sight. A funny thought is that this picture probably contains €500,000 worth of fursuits. Anyway, the parade was huge. The biggest one I've ever seen, to be honest, and they even had local police helping to make sure everything was safe and traffic was diverted as they took over downtown Malmo. We were out to lunch and just so happened to encounter the very front of the parade, so we got to see everything up close and personal. Like, look at this footage. Thanks to all the suitors who interacted with us. It really made our day. So good to see. On a side note, it was quite funny to see the reactions of the locals and how some of the suitors interacted with the public. Malmo is really growing to love NFC, and it's such a beautiful thing, really. This seriously is the type of joy and color the world needs more of. Alright, after the wonderful parade, we got in queue for NFC's Furovision. Yes, this is their own furry version of Eurovision, which is an international singing competition. Prior to the convention, furries will apply, audition, and compete for Furovision slots to perform at the convention in front of judges and a live audience. I'm also a music dork, so I was very excited to attend this, especially with all the talk I've been hearing around the convention in the days prior. There were 10 contestants this year: Gustav, Bruce, Gaikotsu, Fluke Husky, Nifo, Little Alpha Pup, also known as Milo, Beck Degas, Baldur, Dan, and Ace Blaze. All of them did an amazing job, but there were some that seriously stood out and really hit the audience quite hard emotionally. Such a rush to attend a performance like that. Some people even started crying. So to say they did a good job is putting it lightly. Here's my little recap. Enjoy.
Oh, but you tell me back, just keep your eyes on me. I feel a cold back. She's such a different down to me. This Roma is my destiny. She said, ooh, ooh, she's different down.
All my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
Someone stop this train. Don't know how else to say it. Don't wanna see my parents go.
I am longing for freedom from this broken heartache and this messed up vision that makes the world seem whole. 'Cause the world spins no matter the way that I feel. 'Cause the world my suffering in mind. I can't complain of the things that are there.
C'est le mental, le premier imagine un piège. L'écho du second impressionne. Lorsque s'annonce le blizzard, tout est parti depuis longtemps de cette contrée sans printemps que l'on quitte toujours trop tard dans l'immensité des montagnes entre...
It kills me 'cause I know we've run out of things we can say. What am I now? What am I now? What if I'm someone I don't want around? I'm falling again, I'm falling again, I'm falling. No flags.
What I'm thinking of. Are you ready to tear it out? Are you ready to
Dan is at the top of the list with 63 points, but we have 2 more scores to give here. So the 40 points go to Nemo! Which means that the 48 points are going to Lima Papa!
Am I dreaming? Is this real?
So for some context, Little Alpha Pup had suffered a vocal injury and was convinced he would never sing in front of an audience again. But he came out and delivered an absolute emotional bombshell of a performance with an original song he wrote, by the way. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that? Well done. Thank you for being an inspiration to everyone in the audience, really. Some honorable mentions, of course, are Dan, who has one of the most gorgeous voices I've ever heard, Nifo, for getting the audience to scream out of excitement, and Becta Gaz, our friend from France, who in my opinion was the most unique out of all of them. Seriously, well done you all. I think I heard Pinky, one of the directors, say they weren't doing Furovision next year, but I may have misheard them, and I hope I did, because if that's true, huge mistake. Please do it again. It was loved by everybody, and it was one of the most memorable moments for me and a lot of people as well. Please keep it. A lot of main stage events on day 4. After Furovision, we essentially got some water, then went back in queue for the next dance competition. Yeah, it definitely seems like a quote-unquote QCon, as people were calling it, but honestly, these main stage events were always worth it despite the delays and technical problems. Like I said, 3.7k attendees this year, with a sponsor FastPass line, so we got seated in the balcony, but despite the physical distance from the performers, of course, it was a fun event. Similar to day 2, my friends and husband didn't really see the appeal of fursuit dance competitions, just as I didn't until attending one myself. But after this, they actually found an appreciation for it and really enjoyed it. I never expected to actually enjoy these things much. What a pleasant surprise. Now, the big difference compared to Pause on Air is this is a dance competition and was prepared, not improvised. So the contestants had a choreographed and rehearsed performance for the judges and audience. The judges also gave feedback too, which was a nice touch. As usual, here's my little compilation. Please enjoy.
NFC 2024 dance competition. Let's get those paws ready. The lovely Gonzo!
Man, honestly, the exhibition performance, non-judge performance at the end, actually had me stunned because I never knew the human body could move like that, let alone in a fursuit. Every performer did a wonderful job. Very cool to see dancing in suits which ranged from partial to full, and even some pretty big ones which looked difficult to move in, yet they still all managed to deliver stellar performances. If you haven't attended one of these, I would highly recommend it. Ah yes, the dreaded 5th day of the convention. the day when the convention is essentially over. I was honestly getting a little bit sad, but we still had a full-ish day of NFC ahead of us, so the mood wasn't actually too bad. Like the rest of the convention, we got up and traveled to the hotel and got in queue for the opening ceremony. At least that's what I thought. What I actually did was get into the line of the gold sponsors by accident because there was literally no signage or indication of queue designation, so upon waiting an hour and the seating starting, I was told I had to go to the plebeian line because I was not a sponsor. Yes, I know I'm not very smart, but to be fair, I was not the only one and there were quite a lot of people getting moved as well, not just me. So that's an hour wasted. NFC, if it isn't obvious what I'm going to say, please have some proper signage if you must have separate queues for people who pay more. Okay, after waiting an additional hour in the poor person queue, we made it into the opening ceremony. Unfortunately, my group was separated due to capacity issues, but I got a chair on the ground floor, so I managed to catch a bit of the ceremony on film, and it wasn't corrupted this time. It was a closing ceremony. It started with a silly little animation about the two mascots defeating the world serpent by pure luck.
We actually have important breaking news to tell you. The world serpent has been running rampant all over the world. Casualties are high, and the destruction is unimaginable.
Damages estimated to be in the billions. When will it stop?
Heroes, I'm getting word that we actually have footage of the serpent. The figures are bad. We really need some heroes to step up. Otherwise, it might be game over for all of us.
Man, the video guy's kind of struggling right now.
Then the video transitions to another section themed after Japanese folklore, which it was actually announced to be the NFC theme for 2025, Japanese folklore. Hell yeah, I'm actually super hyped for this already. The ceremony had some acting and animation, but also included a short recap of the convention as a whole. Of course, the board and corpos came out to speak again, which actually was kind of funny this time, because they had some statistics, a few of which were how much food the hotel consumed during the convention.
You have been eating 16,225 pancakes. That's good. 19,642 meatballs. 250 kilos of bacon. 678 pieces of cheesecake. Who did that? And 961 cinnamon buns.
People that signed up that they wanted to bring a fursuit. We had 2,040 people signed up that they wanted to bring a fursuit. The average people brought 1.19 fursuits, which is very good. And in the parade, if you remember the parade from yesterday, we had over 1,100 fursuiters in there. We had 351 wolves. We had 219 random other dogs, apparently. Some foxes, 217. And here is for you cats. We need to shape up. We only had, together with the huskies, 127 house cats. We need to be better at this.
From 2020, first time in Malmö was 1,450, and then last year we had 2,350-ish. And then we just added another 1,200 to those, and then the total number for this year is that has been checked in, because we do have more that never showed up, for instance. So the total number that checked in was 3,704 people. We know that there was a lot of people from somewhere, so spricht hier jemand Deutsch? And second place for check-ins were the Swedes. Så är det några svenskar här inne? The groups at home, so the Netherlands ended up on third place with 340 people.
272,388 Swedish kroner raised this convention.
Anyway, lovely ceremony. Sad it's over, but I'm glad I have these memories and that I'm in a position to take said memories and put them into a video for you guys. The ceremony ended and my friend had to catch a train, so he was off, leaving me and my husband. Honestly, it was kind of sad to see all the decorations being taken down and all the arcade games being moved back into storage. The hotel just felt somber, but you can't expect these things to last forever, because if they did, you wouldn't be able to appreciate them when you can, in fact, make them happen. Despite the somber tone of the hotel, we briefly attended the feedback session just to listen to what other attendees had to say. Some people were better than others on being constructive with their feedback, but there were still a few solid points being made. A few included the Valhalla venue not being used enough. I had the same one. A few comments on delays and technical setbacks. Some comments on events not being organized and panels being empty during their time slot. Yeah, to elaborate more on this, like someone I think said something like they went to a couple panels and that person hosting it just never showed up. And I personally didn't happen to me, but it kind of looked like that because a lot of the panel rooms were empty. Like a lot of the rooms were just not being used. But to be fair, the spacing where they were was way too tight for them to properly be used, so that makes sense, I guess. Anyway, there was also a few comments about how to improve the management of the raves and after dark dances, none of which I attended. It's not really my thing. But it was a pretty decent feedback sesh until this dude showed up and started making it about him and complaining that NFC didn't explicitly advertise his individual project more.
The wall. The wall. Yeah, the interactive LED wall. Nobody knew about it. Nobody was advertising it. It was never mentioned in any comic book or the app, whatever, even if it was buggy or whatever.
For all of you watching, please don't do this. Don't be this guy. It's just narcissistic as hell, and even the poor dude taking the feedback was visibly annoyed. Like, he was complaining about not getting enough Twitter activity on his LED light wall on the other venue, and was blaming NFC directly for it, for not advertising it more.
I'm telling you, I just went through all the NFC hashtags on Twitter. I scrolled through everything and I saw only people.
Yes, I think
we had 3,700 people here, and I got only 2 posts on Twitter with this.
I was playing with it, but...
And many people that, well, Pokofurs, let's say, none of them actually went to there, and they didn't even knew about it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, keep the feedback session relevant to the convention. The world does not revolve around you and your project. There's other things going on. That being said, there was still some solid feedback. I think it's awesome that Nordicfuzzcon is so intent on improving and listening to its attendees. That's awesome. Well done. I definitely look forward to next year, and I'm actually in the works of being on the media team as an editor, so that's exciting. Also, the Maid Cafe. I'm doing that as well, and will 100% be doing a video on that, so stay tuned. Also, come and see me if you're attending. We can take some pictures and chat. Aside from the opening ceremony and feedback session, that's really all Day 5 had to offer. Well, I guess the fursuit conga line kinda counts, but you know, all conventions gotta end. Unfortunately, so here I am editing away. Well, the video is essentially over. Thank you so much for watching. I love each and every one of you. I really hope this video finds you well, and that you had a decent time watching. I seriously love this fandom and doing creative work, and I want to do this the rest of my life. So if it's not too much of a hassle, please drop a sub and comment. Any support just goes such a long ways at this point. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be very soon, by the way.